Let's get into our Week 17 bets, Mo, without further ado, before we're joined by our guest, Mitch Moss from VSiN in about 15 minutes. Lions at Cowboys, Dallas, 5.5-point favorite at home, coming off back-to-back losses to the Bills and Dolphins. The line is down to 5.5, like I mentioned, as it was sitting at 6 for much of the week. Total of 53.5. How are you betting this one?
Yeah, not a whole lot to add on this one for people who listened to the first show this week. I would just say, as far as the number goes, I'll just talk a little bit about the number. It did come down, unfortunately, from 6.5. I did mention before that I liked the Lions down to maybe about 5 because I thought like 4.5 was a better line. So the market moving that way now, it's just like, where would you play it to? I think a cheap 5 is probably okay, but I definitely wouldn't go past that. And I would definitely try to get a little bit of money line in there as well. Another option here that I like, and I did a little bit of today, is sell it down to like 3.5, and you can probably get a plus number there. So just to summarize what I had said before, as far as this game goes, I do think it's a good matchup for the Lions, playing indoors. Playing against a team that likes to play a lot of man coverage. We've talked about Jared Goff's struggles against zone at times. And,
didn't happen last week, unfortunately.
Well, they still got outgained by the Vikes, but yeah. I like the Lions' offensive line here against a pretty weak Dallas front that has been moved around a lot in the running game recently and hasn't got a ton of pressure, ranks right around the middle of the pack. So only other thing to add really here is one thing I was wrong about last week going into that Dallas game, where I definitely expected Tyron Smith to play since he played 100% of snaps in the prior game. He wound up not going, and the Dallas offense didn't really look all that good. We have seen that in the past with Tyron Smith's absences, kind of turning Dak into a skittish quarterback a little bit back there, and I think that was seen in some of those series against Miami. So yeah, the Lions can get pressure sometimes. You know, Aiden Hutchinson wins up front, and that's not like the big problem with their defense, I would say. So maybe that makes a difference if he's out again this week. Just keep an eye on that. But yeah, I do like the Lions more for sure. Maybe you can be a little more aggressive, bet this down to like 3.5 if he's out. But either way, I think 5.5 is still fine. So I did put in the 5.5 today.
And a huge game for both teams. Dallas trying to get back on track, still with an outside shot of winning the NFC East, and Detroit outside shot too of getting the number 1 overall seed in the NFC playoff picture. So meaningful game, even though Detroit coming off of a division title clinching win over the Vikings and got a lot of turnover variance. Speaking of positive turnover luck against the Vikings, 4 Nick Mullins picks. I wasn't on the Monday show, as you alluded to, but man, watching a wide open Justin Jefferson, if Mullins throws the ball maybe a little bit more on the outside, or just hitting the wide open receiver down the sideline would have been nice. And we probably cash in with our Vikings bet. But I have a little bit of a different angle for this game. I don't know if I'm going to bet it. I know the total's gotten bet up to 53.5, but if the Cowboys, and now this doesn't necessarily correlate to the script you're looking for, Mo, since you bet the Lions, but Dallas ranks 23rd in the NFL in adjusted pace. And I know Detroit is, I think, top 7th highest adjusted pace, if you understand that verbiage of the metric. So if the Cowboys are able to control the script, then maybe we see this one go under, but there are also opportunities for explosive plays with this Cowboys passing attack, which is why I'm a little bit weary of it. Detroit ranks 26th in drop back success rate allowed, and we don't know if Lions safety CJ Gardner-Johnson is going to be back. So a couple of notes there to keep in mind on the total, but a little bit of a lean to Mo's angle with Lions plus 5.5. And I like your plus money look as well, down to plus 3.5. Still a lot to play for Detroit. And considering this game is before the Sunday window, 1 seed certainly up for grabs, theoretically.